it could have been really big on one of them. I think it almost like
doing them at the same time.
Right. I think it almost like it just took all the excitement that would have been in one and just dissipated it to the point where it's not exciting for either one.
I disagree because Absolution had Paige and everybody loves Paige so much. As hard as they tried to be the bad ones, people were still like, yeah, it's Paige. We're glad to see her back. Everybody loves her.
Yeah.
Cheers. And then you got Sonya and Mandy kind of doing the dirty tactics, but every time they got, the reaction of a cheer.
Right.
So.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I see Trish's point in the fact that, having them both kind of debut around the same time.
And be so similar.
Yeah.
It's like I think it'd be different if, like, one of them would have been good, the other one would have been bad. Then you could have at least had some sort of, idea of, like, one you liked better, but one you still liked because they were bad. But now you've got, like, the, two trios of, all quote-unquote heels and for nothing.
It's the blonde, the kind of gothic or emo or punk rock brunettes, and then the brunettes. Like, it was mirror images, and we had talked about this when they did it. Even who stood where was a mirror image.
Right.
So it was...
The look, the feel, the cotton, whatever.
Back of our lives.
Exactly. And it did. It almost became just like a printing press. Mm-hmm. And I think it takes away from, like you said, the people who are in the groups who are actually individually spectacular. Yeah. And then as a group are amazing, but because you kind of like, you feel like you turn the page and see the exact same thing, and you tend to kind of like want to turn the page back and make sure, like, is this the A? No, they're both A's. Like, you almost feel like there was no like distinct line between the two. They felt the same to the point where it made them less than what they truly are.
Yeah. Throughout the match, you had a couple biffed spots. But you're going to get that if both sides are kind of going full bore and trying to make it look more of a fight rather than a choreographed kind of dance.
Yeah.
Which is okay in the end because the segment as a whole, I feel like kept the story going forward in the manner and the speed that they both wanted. So I was fine with the end result, but again, I still feel like if you just let them go and stop trying to, well, let's have this group mess with them because we have to have something for this group. Guess what? Let these two that have already been kind of struggling to find their own thing for a while, let them have this against each other and find something else for the Riot Squad to have a piece in. Just let Sasha and Bayley kick each other and then let Riot Squad go after Natalya. Yeah. Let them do that whole thing. But yeah, so for that segment, I was happy. Immediately following that was Authors of Pain versus Slater and Rhino in the tournament to crown the number one contender for the titles or for the tag titles against the Bar.
Yes.
All right. Which the Bar don't have the titles. It's just they're going.
Yeah, nobody has the titles because
so the Bar is just going to be in the finals no matter what.
Yeah, they got the free pass into the finals.
Yeah,
right.
Just to clarify, I didn't want anybody thinking I was saying that the Bar was still the champs. I know that they are not the champs, but the Bar is automatically in the finals, and the Authors of Pain move on in this round, which was a pretty.
That's one of those. As soon as you see it, you know what's happening.
Yeah.
Like, I love Slater. He's got kids.
Yeah.
I love Rhino. I love them together. But when you see them, the hot team coming out of NXT with the call-ups and such.
It'd be silly to slow them down now.
Yeah. They're going to be... I mean, if we get Authors of Pain in the Bar, that's going to be a slugfest.
Yeah, right.
Like, that's just going to be a bunch of dudes swinging hard and can take some punishment. It should be real good. I kind of hope that's where it goes.
Well, if anything, I was kind of hoping... to see, and we're going to jump segments real quick. I was kind of hoping to see maybe the Authors go over on Slater and Rhino because the writing was on the wall. You can kind of see that coming. But then have the Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt match against the Revival later on. See maybe the Authors of Pain cost a match for Matt Hardy and Bray, and then have it be the Revival versus Authors of Pain for that final spot against the Bar.
Yeah, I mean
But with all three teams, the Authors of Pain, Revival, and the Bar all being heel, I guess it might have been a tougher sell.
I mean, the Authors of Pain, that is a hard one because everybody kind of likes them. Like, the Authors of Pain are supposed to be the big bad guys, but people like it when they beat the piss out of whoever. Everybody loves the Bar. And
well, Braun Strowman started off as a heel, and quickly they saw, like, no, they just love seeing him flip like
throwing a chair at Roman running full speed.
Okay,
hitting Roman with a truck.
Yeah,
Roman with a truck while he's in a truck.
But throwing the rolling office chair at Roman, like,
it's great.
Roman doesn't realize, but if he would have caught that, Strowman would have been out.
So dodgeball rules?
Yeah, there you go. I was wondering where you're going with that.
I saw you looking at me. I saw you looking at me with the judgment, and I reject your judgment completely.
That's fine.
That was a solid dodgeball joke.
All right, well, we spun well off topic now. So back to Authors of Pain and Rhino and I Got Kids.
It is what it is. It's one of those.
Right.
Authors go over.
It's a solid call-up. They did their time proving their worth, and now they've got a bigger stage to show how amazing they are.
Yeah. And
I think everybody who hasn't watched them in NXT is going to be very pleasantly surprised.
Absolutely. And then again, that rolls into the next match, which was Matt Hardy versus Bray Wyatt versus the Revival.
Matt Hardy versus Bray Wyatt versus the Revival.
Right,
that's a hell of a match.
It was a 1-on-1-on-2. No, so
you mean Hardy, a 2-on-1-on-1, or it was a 1-on-2-on-1-on-1?
You're digging too deep into it. Right. Shut up, Ben.
You're hurting my brain.
I'm sorry. Okay.
So Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt together as a cohesive unit.
All right.
Versus the Revival. Johnny just want to say unit. There we go.
Unit.
Fine, that's fair.
She said pull out and package in the same
sentence. She did. Yeah.
I tried very hard not to say anything on that, but you opened that floodgate.
Yeah. You want to apologize? Or?
No.
No. Final answer, huh?
I will never apologize.
You need to phone a friend?
Nope.
All right.
Okay, fair enough. So Hardy and Wyatt versus the Revival. It was a nice little slugfest. It was fun to see the Revival kind of like lurch back at all the weird stuff from Matt Hardy and Bray. But at the end of the day, it was the perfect little slugfest in the middle of this tournament. And of course, you get Hardy and Wyatt going over in the end. I
hope Revival gets their steam back.
Yeah,
it's hurting my heart.
Well, exactly, because they are not there to build up other teams. That I want to see them as a top tag team.
They're the top guys.
Yeah, exactly. Have Sheamus and Cesaro go back the singles route, because there's so much more room now for them to move around. Like, they don't need to occupy a spot where a perfectly good and established tag team can use that space that they've been holding down for
I still think Revival's just kind of they're waiting their time with having back-to-back injuries, and just recently in the last couple months fully coming back.
Yeah,
they'll get there. There's no reason they won't. They're throwback to Brainbusters and all of that. I mean, they just know tag team wrestling very well. So
I'm excited.
I'm personally just excited that it seems like in the last, I can't say short while, but in the last while, that tag teams are actually coming back in fashion, so to speak.
Yeah.
Where it used to be they're just taking two random people and jamming them together, i.e. like Sheamus and Cesaro, or, a long while ago, you had Kane, Kane and Daniel Bryan,
Slater and Rhino.
Right. They're just like, we have not enough for everybody, or we don't have enough tag teams, but now there's actual proper tag teams out there, and that's their go-to, is to be a tag team,
right?
And I think it's better that way. But okay, so moving on, Miz TV.
Yeah, so Miz came out with the Miztourage and welcomed Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens to Raw.
It's a nice little flip of it when they had to fight each other to a no contest last week,
right?
And then they get swooped up in the shakeup.
Yeah.
So where were they? where'd they get stolen from?
Right.
They didn't know you could just sign people off the street.
Yeah,
well, no, because it wasn't technically.
You could get that from free agency.
Yeah.
Well, it was interesting because it wasn't technically a steal. They lost their jobs on SmackDown, and then quote unquote auditioned for jobs on Raw. And when that didn't happen, off they went into the black hole of nowhere.
Yeah. Free agency.
But lo and behold, the magical pen of the Authority, i.e. Stephanie McMahon, drops them into Kurt Angle's lap.
Yeah.
Like a 20-pound bag of potatoes.
Into his email as an attachment.
Make sure you check that video.
Yeah.
Don't want any viruses.
Forward. You won't believe what you'll see here.
You're going to forward this to 5 people in the next 5 days.
Yeah.
Something bad will happen.
Zayn and Owens are going back to ROH.
I do love the little whip out the reading glasses, though, and let me read you Stephanie McMahon's email moment. That was priceless.
Part of me really hopes this leads to like something with Zayn and Angle or Owens and Angle, because I think it'd be funsies.
Just in general?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it almost has to be, though, because they spent so much time pitting Zayn and Owens against, Shane McMahon and to a lesser extent Daniel Bryan. So it feels like they almost have to come over, and they've already had their first little run-in with Kurt Angle where he's kind of like, screw you guys, I don't really need you. And when Stephanie McMahon goes over his head, it gives them kind of like it gives them room to have a little feud if they so choose to, without forcing it on.
But I don't want to have Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, the only notable feuds they'll have all year is against Kurt Angle, a Hall of Famer, and Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan.
No.
Nobody wants
I'm on the same page. Like, on the flip side, I kind of want them to see actually doing stuff.
Right. I mean, I'm not as big of a fan as Sami Zayn as I am Kevin Owens, just because Kevin Owens to me is super awesome.
And
he
looks
comes
like your
out
husband. Go on.
a little bit.
I did
same body
the
type.
Super Troopers mustache.
Porn stash?
Yeah.
But no, I think Kevin Owens is a perfect bad guy in the fact that he comes out, he does the bad guy thing, and makes no bones about it. Sami Zayn was, I think, too good for too long to really buy into him. I mean, the look, the music, everything about him. It goes over, but I think it always has that edge of, you can't really come out to ska music and be like, I'm gonna kick your ass. Da, 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 da.
No, it's perfect. Like, Owens is the big brooding badass.
Yeah. And
then you got Zayn, like the scrawny sidekick who just runs his mouth.
You mean like Pain and Panic from Hercules?
Yes. Good callback to our conversation before we went on the air.
Wearing the merch.
Yeah. No, I'm excited to see them having something other than fighting with an authority figure, or having a festival of friendship with.
Dude, that festival of friendship was amazing.
Right, but at the same, everything leading up to it, it's like, come on, give him something other than fighting with his best friend, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
give them something. I'm ready for them to have. They came from ROH and the roads of Canada to WWE.
Canada?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it's a place.
All right,
look it up.
We were there.
Okay, yeah.
For 5 minutes, you got checked going in and coming out.
But then we went to Toronto to make it official.
It's true, we did. We spent a week in Toronto. Super awesome, by the way.
But speaking of fighting authority figures,
Tim Horton.
Yes.
Okay.
Also in this segment, we got Kurt Angle making the announcement that Miz is going to SmackDown.
Right.
That
hooray!
That Daniel Bryan was very pushy and very demanding that the Miz get called over.
Yeah.
So
on Twitter, you saw Daniel Bryan posted a tweet with the Miz's face looking angry, and Daniel Bryan's like, "You know how long I've waited to punch this face? This is gonna be good."
Yeah. I kind of wish they wouldn't jump into it so quick.
No.
Well, you got to think though, this is years for Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan has waited on the bench forever to watch, to come back and kick the dude's face, and that basically stole his look.
No, it stole his thunder, not his look.
Stole his moves.
Not his look, but yeah, his moves, his style.
This has actually been.
He stole one of his moves.
This is
actually big move.
It's kicks.
Kicks.
Still a big thing.
Cool. Everybody does kicks.
The Rockette